Hi guys, welcome back. This is Rahel Mujahid, 19x Microsoft certified professional. So in this video, we are going to discuss about Azure 500, that is Azure Security Engineer. So once you pass out this certification, you will be known as a Microsoft certified security engineer. Okay. So as you can see, we have the complete list of certification in my left corner. As you can see, MB series, DP series and AZ series. So in this video we will discuss about AZ 500. Okay, so we will just discuss in two areas. First of all, if you are experienced in Microsoft Azure technologies, let's say if you are having an experience of 5 years or 6 years. Second, if you are having experience like 1 or 2 years, so you will be considered as a beginner, right? So let me just go down and let's just discuss about the topics that you have to focus if you want to pass out this certification. Okay, so as the name suggests, it's all about security, and when we talk about security, we have to first of all focus on Azure Active Directory. As you can see, a lot of I would say topics will be covered under Azure Active Directory. As you can see, MFA, Entra ID, right? So these all topics comes under security, right? So this is something like if you are a beginner, so that will be really hard for you, like how to solve any kind of questions or MCQs that is coming in the examination. But if you are like, let's say, having 5 to 6 years of experience and you are working in this domain only, so it will be easy for you. When I talk about MFA, when I talk about PIM, so definitely you must have any idea like how to configure MFA, how to configure SSO, these kind of topics that you have to cover. Okay, for example, secure Microsoft Entra users, secure Microsoft Entra groups, recommend when to use external identities. Okay, I hope you all know about what is the meaning of external identities. It means like apart from your domain, if you want to add any other person, so when to use it and when it is not recommended. Secure external identities, implement Microsoft Entra ID protection. So it will all comes under AZ 500 examination. Okay, so just think about it. If you are going for this, then completely focus on identities, Azure Active Directory, focus on Azure Security Center, right? Focus on Azure Sentinel. Okay, once you move forward, we will be having like MFA, implement multi-factor authentication. That is very easy if you are having enough experience. So we all know how to configure MFA. And then we have Entra verified ID, then we have passwordless authentication. Okay, then we'll be having password protection, implement single sign-on. Okay, so single sign-on is a major part if you are working on Azure platform, or I would say as your security engineer. Okay, so this is all about Azure Active Directory. Okay, in one hand we'll be having certification like AZ 300, AZ 304, 305, right? AZ 900. So where we all talk about Azure infrastructure, but in this certification we talk about identities, we talk about securities. Okay, and implementation. As we can see, MFA, SSO, these kind of cross implementation you should know. Okay, and make sure you know the practical as well. It's not about you only know like how to do that in theory. Okay, you must have hands-on experience if you want to go for this certification. Okay, moving forward, we have manage Microsoft Intra authorization, right? Again, see authorization. So each and every aspect of Azure Active Directory you should know. Azure role permission for management group, subscription, resource group and resources. I hope we all know about management group, subscription and the difference between resource group and resources. Assign Microsoft Intra built-in roles. Azure built-in roles, what kind of roles we have? We all know like the basic roles, as we can say owner, right? Contributor, reader, user access admin. So these kind of roles, or we have a lot of custom roles as well. So we should know when and how to configure these kind of roles. Now we have PIM, or you can say Privilege Identity Management System. System is removed right now, so it is only PIM. So we use like this particular PIM when we want to give access for some particular time. Let's say if I want to use owner permission for just to configure some resources. So it is like I cannot have it all the time, right? That is against the rule. That is kind of a breaching my security, the security of my infrastructure. So what I can do, I can give you that role for particular time, let's say 1 hour or maximum 8 hours. Okay, so that's why we use PIM. So now we have like a complete topic on PIM, so we cannot just go into that domain. Just know about this thing, that you should know about PIM. That is the major part about about the certification. Okay, we have conditional access policies, as we all know about, as the name suggests. We have some kind of a policies. So let's say if you want to access some kind of resources, so first of all some conditions will be apply. It may be device condition, it may be location condition, or anything. Okay, then we have manage Microsoft Entra application access. Okay, Microsoft Entra ID including auth permission grants. Manage Microsoft Intra app registration, configure registration permission scopes, registration permission consent. So it's all about the application registration. Let's say if you want to host any kind of application, so how your user authenticate to use that particular application. So you should know these things as well. Next thing, we have secure networking. Now we talk about networking, but in terms of security. Okay, NSG, ASG, UDR, VPN, virtual hub, and point to site, site to site VPN, express route. I mean, it is all about very basics. Okay, so we all know what is the meaning of NSG, how it is working. UDR, we all know, user defined routes. Okay, virtual WAN, we all know, virtual networking peering. So you must have hands-on experience. Again, I'm saying it again and again. Theoretical knowledge will not work if you're going for the certification. Okay, network watcher, energy flow logs, these all things you should know before going for AZ 500. Okay, plan and implement security for private access to Azure resources. We all know about, when you talk about private I would say access, service endpoints, you should know private endpoints, right? Private links. These all are very basics if I talk about Azure security. Okay, plan and implement security for public access to Azure resources, right? As you can understand by this particular statement, plan and implement security for public access to Azure resources. If you want to give any public access, like if anyone wants to access your Azure resources from outside network, so how many ways we have, how you can configure this thing. So first of all, we have TLS, we have Azure App Service API management, we have Azure firewall. Okay, we have firewall policies, we have Azure application gateway, we have CDN, we have Azure front door, we have WAF, right? We have DDoS protection. So it's like we are talking about accessing any resource from outside network. So how we can provide the security to our infrastructure? So they are covering everything. See, it's like a transport layer security. Now we have firewall, we have application gateway, so like everything. Okay, now we have secure compute, storage, and database. How you can provide or configure security for your compute, storage, and databases. Okay, so we have this particular JIT. Okay, just in time virtual machine. Okay, so again, it's a kind of a way where you can access your virtual machine with a lot of policies. So let's say if I want to give access to any user, so first of all, if they want to log in, they have to go through some policies. This policy may be any kind of IP address, any kind of location, or maybe time constant as well. Okay, so these kind of policies you can implement in JIT, just in time virtual machine access. Then we have AKS, Kubernetes services, the most secured infra. Now we have authentication, we have ACI, we have Azure Container Apps, we have ACR. Okay, manage access to Azure Container Registry. It's all about access. ACR is not kind of a security resource, but yes, how to access ACR, it is something you should know. Now encryption, decryption, then we have Azure API management. Okay, then plan and implement security for storage. Now we are talking about the underlying storage. We all know we have 4 common storage in Azure: Azure File, Azure Blob Storage, Azure Table, Azure Queues. Okay, so you should know how to provide security in these 4 storage types, right? Okay, I think these all are very basics. Then we have plan and implement security for Azure SQL database and Azure SQL managed instance. Okay, so just focus on managed instance more in compared to Azure SQL database. Okay, so how you can provide authentication to database, that is a very basic one. Database auditing, database backup, database I would say encryption, decryption, dynamic masking, right? This thing you should know. Manage security operation 25 to 30%. Plan, implement and manage governance for security. Now we are talking about a complete Azure portal. So we are talking about Azure policy, Azure blueprints and Azure landing zones. We all know about Azure policy, like if you want to implement any policy all over the Azure, maybe over subscription, maybe over management groups. So you can just put it in the security. Let's say if you want to restriction of Azure virtual machine creation in any region, you can just put in the Azure policy and just mention that yes, virtual machine cannot be created in this particular region. So you have to define in Azure policy. Okay, this kind of things you can do by using Azure policy. Then we have Azure Key Vault. We all know about Azure Key Vault. Then we have HSM. We have Azure Role Based Access Control, RBAC. We have managed certificate, keys and secrets. That is okay. We all deal with these things every day if you're working in Azure. Manage security posture by using Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Now we're talking about Microsoft Defender, that is the platform as a service. This is I think really easy if you are using Azure. Configure and manage threat protection by using Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Okay, so Defender you can configure on SQL database. You can just configure on security alerts. You can just go for the workflow as well. So let's say workflow means if something happens, how your resource will behave. If any malicious IP is trying to access your database or any resource, so how it will handle it? It will block your IP address, or it will shut down that resource. Like that is something you have to decide. You have to decide in your workflow if something happens, so how you want your resource to behave. Okay. Then we have configure and manage security monitoring and automation solutions. Monitor security event by Azure Monitor, that is really common. Azure Sentinel, as I already mentioned, again Sentinel. So you should know the working of Azure Sentinel. Azure Monitor you can skip, it is just a little part. So if you skip this, that is not a big deal. Just focus on Azure Sentinel or Azure Security Center. Now we have a lot of things in this particular page. You can ignore these things. Just focus what we have discussed till here. Okay. Again, just some kind of last tips I would like to give you, since I already passed the certification, in 2019 only. Just focus on security aspect. First is NSG, second is Azure Security Center, third is Azure Active Directory, fourth is Azure Sentinel, Azure Firewall, Azure WAF. These kind of I would say topics or resource, they will give a lot of questions. Okay, so let's say they will give you one scenario that yes, XYZ user is trying to access this resource from this location, right? And we want to restrict this kind of access from this particular location. So how you will configure this thing? So now the moment they mention location, then you have to go with the conditional access, right? So these kind of questions or MCQs you will discuss. So yeah, definitely we will discuss some questions as well in my next video. So yeah, subscribe for more videos and like and comment if you have any queries. Thank you so much.